themselves a little homemade fix. Wasn't no fancy table from a downtown store, just a Sesame Street tray they got years before. Big Bird smiling underneath the pile of grain, Cookie Monster covered up, if you know what I mean. That old metal tray had a second life, more useful than a pocket knife. Rolling on Big Bird, laughing all night long. Oscar held the papers while they sang along. Ernie and Bert never saw it coming their way, turned the kids' TV tray into a legend of the day. Rolling on Big Bird out back in the sun, half the county knew exactly what was being done. That old tray survived damn near everything, but Lord, it sure took a beating when the tomato plants were hanging in the shed. They'd spread the leaves out nice and let them rest instead. Then into the oven while the heat died down. Best little dehydrator anywhere around. Worked so good for years and years, through family cookouts, beers and cheers, till Janice came home hungry one day and forgot Big Bird was put away. Rolling on Big Bird, laughing all night long. Oscar held the papers while they sang along. Ernie and Bert never saw it coming their way, turned the kids' TV tray into a legend of the day. Rolling on Big Bird out back in the sun, half the county knew exactly what was being done. That old tray survived damn near everything, but Lord, it sure took a beating. She fired up the oven for some homemade brownies. Didn't know Big Bird was hiding there quietly. A little while later came a smell so strange, then smoke started pouring out like a freight train. Mom yelled, "What's burning now?" Dad came running from the lawn, opened up the oven door and nearly lost his mind. Big Bird was on fire this time. Rolling on Big Bird, smoking more than planned. The flames were dancing higher than a bluegrass band. Janice swore she didn't know it was still inside. Everybody laughing till they nearly cried. Rolling on Big Bird, what a crazy sight. Sesame Street going up on a Friday night. That old tray survived somehow once again, ready for the next weekend. Now the tray is gone, but the stories remain, told around the outback every time it rains. Folks spend fortunes on fancy gear, but that old Big Bird tray brought years of cheer. Cookie and Monster never got a single crumb. Oscar would've loved what they'd become, and somewhere Bird is probably shaking his head at all the things that happened on that tray instead. Rolling on Big Bird, here's to yesterday, to tomato plants and smoke-filled holidays, to forgotten ovens and family lore, and the little yellow bird that started so much more. Rolling on Big Bird, forever in our minds, a piece of family history frozen in time. If those cartoons could have talked, Lord, what they'd say about the things that happened on that Sesame Street tray. Janice, are you making brownies again? Maybe. Is Big Bird in the oven? Well, not anymore.